right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be listening from. My name is Adi Dutton. I'm a business analyst. I'm not a lawyer or immigration lawyer. I'm only providing this for those that have been having problem trying to see or learn how to fill from I-485. This section is just to enlighten us. It's not the I wouldn't say this is the maybe your best. Well, it's a good thing to have this kind of video for you to learn how to do it yourself. Or you can always go to USAID's website, get the necessary information on how to fill from I-485. So whatever I'm presenting here, I hold it to myself, and I'm only trying to help those that are having difficulties in learning the instruction manual. So if you're using this document, I'm only providing information for those filing employment-based petition for self-petition, EB1A and EB2NIW. All right, let's get started. So we are looking at um, part three. I stopped at part three. I think the first this section is what we captured the last time. So in there, I mentioned that they should take none of the exemption applies to me based on the question that was asked. All right. So if you follow the instruction manual, you'll understand better why you needed to select none of these exemption applies to me. The question is quite clear, right? So we move to number part four, additional information about you. Right. Have you ever applied for an immigration visa to obtain permanent resident status at a U.S. embassy or U.S. consulate abroad? If the answer is yes, that means you cannot use this form, or you have to go along with NBC processing, or there will be other information that will be asked of you, right? All right, so this section again, like I mentioned the last time, is strictly for those that are applying for UB1A, so that are filing adjustment of status within the United States, right? So if you're running your application through the embassy, the National Visa Center abroad, this video is not for you, right? So have you ever applied for an immigrant visa? The answer will be no, just like I tick in here. Now, if you answer yes, obviously, you have to produce other information. So for those that answer yes, eventually you are running yours from a different country other than the United States, right? So we'll move to the other uh, question, employment and education history. Now, it says, provide all of your employment education history for the last 5 years as indicated in the instruction, right? Again, uh, the instruction is your Google for now. So you can fall back on that instruction to learn more about how to fill from I-485. If there are questions I did not answer right, or maybe you feel it may not be correct, you can always fall back on the instruction. But what I'm providing for you is the best answer so far, right? Provide your current employment or school attendance first. Include period of self-employment and employment or retirement for each period of unemployment or retirement. This source of financial support, if you have additional employment or educational history, use the space provided in part 14, additional information. So peradventure, while you're filling this form, this section, and you probably the boxes are not sufficient, or the field, if you're a computer scientist, are not sufficient, you could go to page 14 and continue from there. So you will need few things. You will need to get to know what part are you looking at. Is it part four, which is part four, the item number 7, and the page number. These are very important things you need to copy. And for the additional information, if you need to add extra information. So for here, we said employer or school. So it is if you are either in school or you're employed, whichever one comes first, right? So school, we use best university. As what is your occupation? research assistant. So you put it according to what you have, not according to what I have presented. This is not a default answer. It's just a guide, right? Address of employer, company, or school, right? Says ABC. So you put the right address in the box. This is apartment, this is suite, and this is floor. Whichever one applies to you, put the right number. And if you don't have it all of that, you can ignore this, pick it out, is your friend, right? So city, Kansas City, Dallas, I just put something randomly, right? So you need to tick this box and put. So if you're filling online, I advise you fill this section online first before you download it to your computer. The moment you download it, this field may not work, right? So fill it electronically. Whatever you're unable to capture after filling, you can use your black pen, which is compulsory, to fill the rest, right? So you can select whichever state applies to you. You will know the acronym, the short form of your state, and select one that aligns with you, right? So let's move on. Now, date of employment, unemployment, retirement, or school attendance, right? Put the right information there. And now it says if unemployed or retired, source of financial support, depending on my husband for financial support, if applicable. If your husband is the petitioner, or maybe you are the petitioner, but then you have the best profile, but your husband is working, doesn't have the time maybe to file the adjustment of status, or you have the best profile, but you're just using your profile to apply. But does your husband have the money? So you're depending on your husband for financial support if you're in school. If you have your own means, right? If you're unemployed or retired, source of financial support. So you need to provide something. They can't just do this blank. Who is responsible for your billings, right? So that is what you are doing. And I would advise you should not go and put that you're depending on maybe all this pay stub or what do you call it? Like all these benefits you receive from the government, monthly stipends and all of that. Those kind of stuff that can undermine your application. So do well to reach out to a lawyer for more information on that. But for my own side of, I mean, for my advice would be don't put such information there. Now, provide your most recent employer or school outside of the United States, if not already listed above. So you can go ahead and leave that if you have most recent school or employer, if you've not done so above, or you can always ignore that. Now let's move to part five. All right, I will try to speed up so we can have enough time to fill this thing. All right, so it says um, information about your parent. Information about your parent, right? Information about your parent. One, parent legal name, family name. You put all the necessary information. That is your maybe it's your father. Then you're putting first. You put his name, and Beth's parents' name at Beth. If it changes, you put the right answers there. So we just put these numbers there, the date of birth, just to show that you need to fill this field. So number two is optional. So if it applies to you, you know what to do with that, right? So let's pay. So country of birth. Then the other one, it can be your mother, so you can put whatever you want to put there, right? Now, date of birth, the same thing, country of birth. I just use Nigeria as our case study, right? So part six, information about your marital history, right? What is your current marital status? So if you are single, you hit the single box. If you're married, you put married. If you're divorced, widow, married, annoyed, legal, separated, just put whatever you can show evidence over, right? So if you are married, is your spouse a current member of the United States Armed Forces of Guards? No, right? But if it's yes, you put yes, right? And if yeah, I will feel that you should put yes or no because it's quite straightforward, right? How many times have you been married, including your current marriage abroad, annulled marriages, and marriages to the same person? One. Well, Some people are married more than one time, but I would advise you reach out to a lawyer for answer on this one. But for those that are married to single people, the answer is one. I wouldn't know if there will be an issue if you put more than two because in the United States, polygamous is not allowed, right? All right. So information about your current marriage, including if you are legally separated, current spouse name, information about your current marriage, including if you are legally all right. So you put your spouse name, date of birth. If your spouse have the alien number, okay. So if your spouse is in the United States, obviously they'll have alien number already. So you pull that there. You can find out if you don't have it, you can leave it blank. Now, current spouse country of birth, Nigeria, or whichever country the person might be from, right? Current spouse, current physical address. Wherever the person is residing is what you put, right? So just follow through with the examples I provided, right, to help you fill this section. All right. Again, you have to fill this electronically before you download it to your system. If you download it before filling, this field, for instance, will not be active. Right. All right, let's go on. So part six, information about your marital history, place of marital marriage to current spouse. So all of that is quite straightforward. You can answer them yourself. I'm just putting information so to help us get by. Now, information about prior marriages, if it's applicable to you, like I said, you might want to reach out to an immigration lawyer or to advise you on how to go about this section. For those that one wife, one husband, right? It's quite straightforward. So you can go ahead and use this to help you, right? Okay, let's move on. So all of that from 11 to 18 applies to whoever have issues with previous marriage. So we are not dealing with that today. Part seven, right? Information about children indicate the total number of all living children anywhere in the world, right? So if you have two in the United States, you have one in Ghana, you have one in Japan, all scattered all over, right? Endeavor to include them because if you don't include them at this time, maybe it might delay processing, might require some legal actions before they can absorb them into the system, which can take years before that can be corrected. All right. So you have two, you have 10, you have seven. I don't know how many you have. So put what you have. All right. What is your child relationship to you? Biological child, stepchild, legally adopted child. So it's quite easy. They've given you options on how to go about that. Right. So again, alien number, if you have it, you put it. Country of birth, if it's from the United States, if it's from a different country, you put it there. So number three, the same thing, just a repeated information if you have multiple children. So yeah. Okay. Wait, I think there's a question here. Is this child also applying now on a separate from I-485? So if the obviously if the child is US citizen, it is gonna be no. And you can also eat no if you are not ready financially. All right. But it's just that if you want to run it, maybe after you must have received your green card, then the condition will be placed on family base. On family base takes forever. All right. So I, those are things you want to consider. All right. Let's move on. Now, biographical information. So we are looking at page 13 now. We are 13 of 24. I have a long way to go. So I will soon stop. So I don't want the video to be too long, so we can easily reflect on it, maybe forward, fast forward, and all of that. Or backward. I mean, what is it? Reverse, rewind, whichever one you think is right. All right. So biographic information, ethnicity. Select only one batch. So whichever one applies to you. So you need to select which one that applies to you. So this one, Hispanic or non-Hispanic, right? So it takes not. Then number two, which race are you? American Indian, Native Hawaiian, white, Asian, black, African, American. So whichever one applies to you, you know what to do, right? Height, again, if you don't print this, I mean, do this electronically, and you start, I mean, you print it out or you download it, all this string might not work, right? Like before. So you need to make use of this and know the user friendliness of this while you have it online before you start questioning why is this thing difficult to fill. All right. So height, if you what is there, weight, you put the right value, eye color, black, blue, brown, whatever color you have, you put it there. So if you're bald, whatever that applies to you, you know what it is, right? General ability and inadmissibility ground. All right. I said choose that we're looking at part 9 now. Sorry. I forgot to mention that. Choose the answer that you think is correct in part 9. If you answer yes to any question, or if you answer no but are unsure of your answer, provide an explanation of the event and circumstance in the space provided in part 14 additional information. Just like I said previously, if you need to fill this section or you need to add additional information just to clarify some point, you need to identify the part number, the item number that you are referencing, and the page number, which is at the bottom, right? So these are very important. Now the question says, have you ever been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with any organization, association, fund, foundation, party, club, society, or similar group in the United States, in any other location in the world? So it's not really asking you about your professional membership, right? So this one is maybe you are part of a gang or this um, some association that are not really a good thing, right? They might be good, but maybe uh, society or one thing where people that are agitating for referendum, other stuff. Yeah, that's you can have a group of people. When there are about 2 or 3 of you, that's an organization already, right? So far you have some. Well, I don't want to go into details, but then if you are not in any of those, the answer will be no, right? And if you need more clarity on this, fall back on the instruction manual or reach out to a lawyer for more information. All right. Or you can ask questions. If that you easily, I'll provide it. If it's beyond me, I will ask you to reach out to a lawyer or fall back to the instruction manual, which is very easy. It's quite detailed, right? If you answer yes to item number 1, complete item number 2 to 9. So you need to fill all the section if you answered yes to the question. All right, so I move straight to part 9. I'll stop on this page and I will maybe set up another video in the future. I don't want it to be too long, like I said. General eligibility and ineligibility ground, that is continuation of where we stopped, right? Since we did not answer yes, we will not fill 7, 8, and 9 as well, right? So we'll go straight to number 10. So number 10 says, have you ever been denied admission to the United States? Now, the reason why we stop at 9, there was some information that you need to fill that part from 2 to 9, right? So some people might say, why did you not jump to number 10? But they say we should not fill this section since we did not answer yes. So this is the reason, right? So let's go back. All right. So number 10, have you ever been denied admission to the United States? No. If you have, provincial. Now, this is the thing. If you leave your country at the point of entry, they refuse you getting entrance to the United States. That is not what they are saying, right? The answer is yes. If you are in the United States and deny admission in the system, right? Oh wait, have you ever been denied a visa to the United States? Have you ever been denied? And yeah, so what I've said is correct. So have you ever been denied a visa to the United States? Well, if your visa been, maybe you apply for visa to the United States and you've been denied, yeah, you put yes there, right? Have you ever worked in the United States without authorization? And again, have you ever been denied a visa to the United States? So if your visa was canceled at the point of entry, yes, the answer is equally yes, right? So there are two yeses. Yes, they refuse you visa while you go to the embassy to apply for visa to enter the United States until at the point of entry, your visa was canceled. So those are two ways that you can be refused, right? Denied. Have you ever worked in the United States without authorization? Okay, so if you are working in the United States without authorization, the answer is yes. Or you reach out to a lawyer to fill the section, but most of the answers that you want to fill there, no, 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 right? So if you have a yes answer, you might want to consult an immigration lawyer to educate you on what to expect or how to tackle this kind of issue, because some of the answers you provide can undermine your green card or can even lead to removal from the United States. So speak to an immigration lawyer beyond what I'm presenting, beyond what you can get from the instruction manual. I would advise to speak to a lawyer if your question here are saying yes, 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 right? And have you ever violated the term or condition of your non-immigrant status? Right. So again, because we are in the United States, so the assumption is you are not outside the state. That's what this question is about. So if you have not done so, the answer will be no. Are you presently or have you ever been in removal, exclusion, restriction, or deportation proceeding, including expedited removal proceeding? If you have been in this category, the answer will be yes or no. Or yes. And if you are not, it will be no. Now, have you ever been issued a final order of exclusion, deportation, or removal? So again, just follow through. Whichever answer applies to you, you will know what to take. So I don't want to dwell too much because these are straightforward answers. All right. But if you require that you answer yes, then I will advise that you reach out to an immigration lawyer on how to proceed. So a lot of people out there that will tell you, oh yeah, do it this way, do it that way. But I would say reach out to your lawyer if your conditions will require you to answer yes, right? There are occasions whereby maybe the offense you committed that misdemeanor, and it won't require you to maybe um, misdemeanor like maybe you deny your seatbelt while you're driving. The officer stops you, asks you a couple of questions, and if you maybe give you a ticket, and the ticket is between maybe $0 to maybe $500. You might not require to answer yes there, all right? But if it's above that, then you have to consult a lawyer. Even though all those situations have been settled, you still need to consult a lawyer for advice, right? So I would recommend lawfully. Lawfully is very good, and they are very professional in handling cases. But there are also immigration lawyers out there. I know a couple of institutions that you can, I mean, a couple of the other firms that you can reach out to that can help you with cases whereby maybe you made mistake while you are transitioning into the United States. So I will stop here. Maybe in the next video, I will provide answers to other questions. And if you have questions, please send your question in. I'm available to answer them. And please, if you can also subscribe and comment and like to also encourage me to want to do more videos like this. Thank you for your time. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye.